Hello everyone, welcome back to Fishing Planet. This is a special episode, and I'm still not the chief. We've reached our 10 like goal, so I should be shooting off all these fireworks in this episode. I figured I'd also kind of make it a basic tutorial on some of the things I know on how to fish. I'm going to go to Lone Star Lake. I was also going to show you some of my real world fishing lures and stuff in this video as well. And I also bought my first bottom rod, or in this case feeder rod, and got it set up. It took quite a while. I didn't know what I was doing. I already had this 12-pound mono that I think I got from something that I hadn't used, and so I bought a 13-pound spinning reel, because you have to use a spinning reel. You can't use a casting reel when it comes to these bottom rods and things. And then I bought the Laker Pro 11-foot 2 because it line weight, it works with 12-pound test. And then the casting weight you also have to look at with these, and because that's important too. And let's see, and I put a 7/8 ounce sinker. You have to have a leader on there, and so I went with 11-pound. Sounds like it's supposed to be a little bit less than your line weight, which is 12, and the reel is 13. The rod goes to 13. So part of that basic info, try and make your rod and your reel higher than your line. And then if you have a leader, especially with like the bottom rods and stuff, you want it to be less than that, so if something happens, the leader will break. And then I think you keep the sinker, and then you just have to tie on a new leader and hook and bait. And then the bell's up here, but you keep that because it's clipped to the rod. So unless the rod breaks, you should be okay there. And even then, I don't think you'd lose the bell. So I got those. And I was going to show you some of my real world stuff. So let me pull this up. I got a little tackle box. And both of my tackle boxes have a clear section on the front. And they're both the same color scheme. This one says Rubbermaid on it. And give me a second to pull stuff out. Okay, to start, I got a spinning reel. So this is same as the one I bought in game, essentially. Although it's got dual handles. I think it also came with a single handle, so it would look more like the ones in game. But as you notice with the spinning reels, when you reel them, the head slowly goes up and down, and the line comes in here and it wraps it around the spool. So the spinning reels can actually reel in line faster than the casting reels, as far as I know. But because the line goes in the big circle, the eyelets on those rods start big and go small. So like I can't use this on my bottom downrigger rod because all the eyelets are small. So that's why when you buy rods in the game, if you buy a casting rod, you have to put a casting reel on it because they work with the little eyelets. And the spinning reels work with the larger eyelets. Then I also have a little push button reel. This is actually the one I bought when I bought my downrigger rod, and quickly realized that that wasn't going to work very well. This is for much smaller rods, and it didn't work well. I didn't really know at the time about setting up the line weight and the lure weight and all that stuff. I didn't find out until I started playing Fishing Planet. I also have a metal fish keeper. This is the like the ones you can buy in the game. You unclip the one and clip it to something like your tackle box or one of your 5-gallon fishing buckets if you got one of those, something or other, and or even a stake in the ground, free. And then you clip the fish down here. And in reality, as long as you keep them in the water, you probably could release them, unlike in game. Although some people, if they keep the fish on this, they keep them outside the water, and I think that's why they did that in game. The fish nets you have to keep in the water. Okay, so put that back down. I got an extra spool for that spinning reel. Like I said, it also came with an extra handle, but I do not see that in here. I have a stick bobber. I'm not sure if I've ever actually used these. I don't know how to hook it up, but I have it in there. We gotta be careful with this thing. I got this guy. I think this is called a Rebel Runner, and it's probably similar to my Triple Runner, but my Triple Runner would go deeper. Where is that? Where? Oh. Oh, it's in my home. Here it is. So I can't find it. So yeah, my Triple Runner. I think it's a Triple Runner because it's got the 3 hooks on it, but I actually can't tell in the picture. And I do not see a 3D version like with the fish and stuff. But this one definitely has a bigger plastic beak or whatever on it. So yeah, this one probably only goes to like 3 feet or something, if that. It may even just be big enough to make it do the wobble action, which is how they attract the fish. Look at that. I have a really cool set of fishing needle nose pliers. It's got this thing on the side, which I guess is for scaling fish. I don't know. And then I think that's a bottle opener. Let's see. Put this stuff back. Hopefully it's not too loud as I put it in. This is a slop spoon. It's got the little weed guard on it to try and push the weeds over the hook. So that's what those look like in real life. I got a popper. Here, it's got the curve on the front to catch the water and spit it back out. So that's probably similar to either this one or my orange one here. Although it looks like they're slightly designed differently in here. That might actually be a metal scoop on there, but they do both have the treble hook, which is triple, with the skirt. And then it's supposed to have a treble on this one too, but the front one's cut off. Probably because we were catching it in the weeds and trimmed it off. Okay, I got a fair number of these. These are called rattle traps. I haven't seen these in game yet, but they have actual like beads or something in them that rattle when it goes through the water, and it attracts fish like bass and pike and stuff. Let's see, gotta be careful with this. This is probably the closest thing I have to the frog popper, my trophy frog popper here. Okay, close that one. It's at least the same body style, with again the cup on the front for to pop the water. Same body style, but it's got a skirt on it instead of the frog legs. So that's a slight change. I don't think I have any walkers in real life. See, smaller rattle traps. Oh, these things are weird. It's a sponge with a treble hook, and so you can soak it in one of the I guess the ground bait additive stuff. You can soak it in some of this stuff and then toss it in, and it's reusable, similar to using bait. But it's like a lure. I was like, I gotta try that. And then I don't think I ever bought the actual ground bait stuff or additives or whichever one it would be to help with that. So I showed you I was showing the frog popper. I do have actual frogs. A rubber frog with the double hook that's integrated into it. And this floats. It's rubbery, spongy. And I've caught fish on that before. And then I got another rubber body frog, different style. I don't have a hook on this one. I don't think I've ever tossed it. And then right next to that I have a spinner bait, which I've unlocked in game, but I do not yet have. Let's see, spinner baits. So yeah, spinner baits and stuff. They kind of look like bass jigs. This one doesn't have a skirt on it, but it does have the grub tail. I think, yeah, grub tail. See. So that, let's see, that. Oh, spoons. I have a couple spoons in this one. Gotta be careful though, they got treble hooks on them. And they're probably sharp. They are also stuck together. Yep, that's a thing. That happens a lot. But yeah, I just 3 different sizes of the red and white stripe spoon. So that's that kind of spoon. And then the narrow spoon, again, stuck together. That's the narrow spoon. So that's what those are in game. And then I don't think I've unlocked this style in game yet. It's curved. And it's supposed to have 2 hooks off the back, but again, it's been cut. Let's see, spoons. Let me look up for these. See what these are called. Let's see, narrow spoon. So narrow spoon. It might just be a form of narrow spoon, but I think I saw them at the end. At one point. So, was it these? Jigging spoon. Maybe that's what it is. Oops, I didn't click. Nope. Those are straight. I don't have those. I thought that's what I'd seen. Maybe not. I haven't gone up this high in the lures too often. So, I don't know. Maybe it is one of these. Yeah. That's what it is. It's a narrow spoon. It just only has 2 hooks on it instead of 3. This one even has a little tail. Let's see. So that's that. Spoon. Oh. Got I don't know if it's a spinner or a nano spinner, but it's got a little treble hook on it too. Hopefully you can see it because it's kind of small. But let's see. I guess that would be equivalent to the spinners. Yeah, probably. What do the nano spinners look like? Oh. Well, now I don't know. Maybe it is a nano spinner. I got more in here somewhere. They're in one of the other boxes. Oh. This, I believe, is a bass jig. It's got the jig head on it and the white skirt around the hook, which I'm trying not to poke myself on. But yeah, that should be a bass jig. Rubber worm without a hook, and then it's got grub tail on the end of the hook, or the hook-shaped grub tail on the end of the worm. Got those confused. Let's see. This is a rubber crawdad, which I've used. I think I've caught stuff on it. And it's got a crimp weight on the line here, which I guess is one reason why there's the line attached to it. I really need to take the hooks and stuff out of these, but I'm not sure if I'll ever use them again or not. And this is a lizard, or was it a nymph? I believe that was here. I guess maybe they're called nymphs, or are those different? Nope, those have the curl tails. So I think this is a lizard, which I may or may not even have in game. Well, I know I don't have it in the game, but it may or may not even be in game. So there's that. Let's see. That's just another rubber worm. You. These haven't been out in a while. What? Oh. The crimp weight got stuck on the box. Alright, this one's heavy. It's got all my sinkers and stuff in it. But another thing it has in it is bobbers. So this is average size bobber for what I used growing up. If you push down on the top piece, there's a little teeny metal hook at the bottom that grabs the line. And then you push the red piece down and there's another little hook that grabs the top of the line. And so that's how you get the line through those. And it just sits on the water just like it does in game. And I got slide weights, which have a hole going through them. That's what the crimp weight looks like. That was on the other thing. You crimp down the little things that are sticking up around the line. And then these, which I'm probably not going to be able to show. It's got this little round thing with things coming off one side. And it's another style of crimp weight. That's an inline weight. So it's got a eyelid on both sides. That definitely weighs more. And then I got really big triangles, which I guess are for the bottom rods and things. Spinnerbait. Another style spinnerbait with bass jig style skirt on it. I guess that would be considered a shad or something, but I just have it on a regular hook instead of a jig head, because I don't think I have any actual jig heads. Here's more spinners. Again, not sure if they're spinners or nano spinners. I think to a point that's based on how big they are and not necessarily the design. That one's got like a springy body on it, although the spring doesn't actually do anything. It's just there for looks. So, okay, these are stuck together. A little teeny weeny rubber frog that I just have on a hook. I'm not even sure it would work like that. I think this is a tiny slop spoon that's lost its weed guard. I don't want to touch that thing. It's old and powdery and whatever. That's a swim bait, jig, or lure. So it's got the hinge on the body. This is labeled Jitterbug. I think it's topwater. So that metal thing on these is probably similar to the thing that I saw on the poppers on the game. This is another one, but it's got a hinge on the body. Again, I'm pretty sure there's a topwater. And this has a rattle in it. I guess it's a swim bait or a jerk bait or something. And then it's got the really big spoon on the front, or whatever, beak. I don't remember what those are called, but to make it dive. Let's see. The rest of this stuff is in other boxes. Speaking of other boxes, I need to switch boxes, so back in a second. Okay, now I'm in the other box. It's big enough that I can't lift it up and show you. It's about twice the size of the other one. I have a little teeny rubber swim bait. This is something special. Ow. It's a topwater lure. And it's got the two rather large trebles on it. But when you cast it, it pulls this out. And the tail flaps. So it hits the water and makes noise. The downside is, if you actually catch a fish on it, you set the hook and it starts smacking the fish. So, kind of adds insult to injury to catching the fish. Because it's being smacked in the face the entire time you're reeling it in. I got a rod bell. Even though I don't have bottom rods and things. So, I'm not exactly sure why. Rubber jig on a regular hook again. I must not have jig heads, but I'm not sure it'll matter. Another rubber worm. This one has a different style tail on it. Guess that's like a spade or something. A little rounded. And teeny weeny, probably 1 inch long rubber shad. Now we go into the main compartment of the larger one. Hopefully it'll stay open, but I kind of doubt it. So, there. You gonna stay open? I think so. Probably not. This is a rubber eel that I do not want to touch, other than the metal weighted spoon up the front. And then it's got an extra hook at the back that I guess is connected with a cable. Scrap a line. Keep that in the box. I don't need that in my rug. Rather a large, I guess swim bait. Or no, not swim bait. What was the other one called? Rebel. But yeah, they just wobble back and forth in the water as you bring them in. I've tossed this a fair number of times. I don't think I've ever even gotten anything on it. Most of the places I've tossed it, the fish have probably been this big. So, yeah. Yeah, I hope you guys can kind of see this stuff, since I'm on the little camera. I probably should have made that bigger. But as the old saying goes, hindsight's 20/20. And the more I change, the more I gotta remember to fix for the actual video. So, buzzbait. Which I may have unlocked in game, but I think only for gold. And then it's got a really weird looking shad on it with eyes, which is actually kind of creepy. Yeah, so that, I got a cool set of pliers that has a cutter on the side that opens and closes with the main set of pliers. I do not know what this is, but it's really colorful. And it's got like a skirt, but it's coming off the front. And then it's got a skirt that's coming off the back. Let's see. Another swim bait. I guess a shad, but it's got the articulated body. Let's see, what's that? Oh. Another shad. And then you know this one was hiding on the side. Kind of looks like it might be patterned for a largemouth bass or something, brother, almost. I don't know. I don't know the different types of fish that well. Let's see. That should be everything in there. So let's switch down here. Let's see. It's mostly worms, but this is what the thing on the eel looked like without the eel. And somehow the one on the eel had a cable coming off that went through the body of the eel. I'm guessing maybe it was attached here somehow and went through. I don't remember. But like I said, I don't really want to touch that too much because it's old. Another little popper. It's just hollow plastic with the single hook on the back. See that? Different style grub body with the spade tail. Oh, these are cool. These are for vertical jigging. So the eyelet to tie them on is on top, and you drop them straight down and pull them straight up, and then the hooks point off both sides. This lure is not sure if it's a shrimp or a crawfish. I don't remember what it said on the box, but one of those. Let's see. That's about all for there. There's just more rubber worms. This is some sort of a leader with a giant hook on it. Might even be a titanium leader. I don't know. But then, yeah, really big hooks. That might be for ocean fishing or something with large cut bait or something like that. This is like a cord style fish keep where you'd have to actually put the stake through the fish's mouth and gill and then loop through the metal ring and then stick the stake in the ground. Let's see, another style of lure. I do not know what this would be called. It's got the spin bait thing on the front and a treble hook on the back, but then the body kind of looks like a swim bait or a crankbait. Or yeah, crankbait. Let's see, more swim bait bodies. Already showed you those. So, last drawer. Oh, another one of the rubber crawfish, but without the hook in it. And bobber that's made of cork instead of plastic. It's supposed to have a plug on one end, but it doesn't. I probably lost it. A smaller version of the one I showed you earlier. This has definitely seen better days. It's dirty and stuff. Even smaller version, different colors. And I got two, I guess, inline bobbers. They have string coming off each side, and they're football shaped. And I guess I got another one in there too. I don't think I've ever used those, so I'm not sure what they're for. Let's see. This is for cleaning fish and for taking hooks out. So I don't think I've ever cleaned a fish myself. I've seen it done. It's not really something I'd want to do. I don't eat fish. Alright. That's probably good for that. It's already been half hour. I better get to the lake so that I can start shooting fireworks and show you some of the other stuff that I wanted to show you. I think I already showed you in the other game that I got the boats and things, but if you don't have them, this is where they go in your inventory. And either the fish net or the stringer goes here, rod stand, all that stuff. I got the hat with the light on it for night fishing. You had to catch 100 fish at night. And you can only have one of each thing equipped. And if you have others in your inventory, they don't help you. So having multiple tackle boxes and stuff like that isn't going to help you store extra stuff like it does in real life. So in real life, I have 2 tackle boxes and I can hold stuff. In the game, only one at a time counts because you have to equip it. Otherwise, you just have home storage. Let's see. So those. Let's go to Lone Star. Again, don't forget to look at the graphs when you're going there. It tells you if it's going to be partially cloudy, cloudy, sunny, cloudy at night, and the phases of the moon. And you can see it. It really changes the graph as to when the fish are going to be active or not. The higher the graph is here, the more the fish are going to be active. If you're fishing in here, you're probably not going to get any bites. You might here and there, but they're going to be few and far between. So that's one reason they allow you to fast forward. This should be okay, but again, down here, it's going to be a lot harder to catch fish. Let's see, travel. Yep, I know. I've done this once or twice before. I've been playing the game since before Lone Star existed. So, let's see. Did I remember to bring redworms? Yes, I did. One of the things, if you're early game, when you come to Lone Star and you have redworms in your inventory, make sure you go to the worm pile. It's right over here. There's a sign here. It says worm. Well, it doesn't say worm. It's a picture of a worm. And you can do this every 24 hours real time. And you get, I believe, 25 worms. That's why I have so many worms. Because when I have worms and I come here, I do that. But I don't have to buy worms. So there's that. Let me switch to a private room. My computer's been acting better when I do private rooms. Let's see. If you look at my map of the lake, I have my my 5 original marker buoys marking different spots of the lake. So like this is the center of the deep spot here, and then I marked that hole, and I marked that hole, and I marked that hole. And then these are high spots, although they weren't there when I marked these. And then this is the deepest hole in the lake, over here. So if you're going for catfish and stuff, which I think I'm going to try for today, because I do need to catch catfish, that's in here. And you can either cast there from behind the fence, or you can cast there from the bank, but you got to go a little further from the bank to get over there than from the fence. But then if you do catch a fish and you're fishing over the fence, it's kind of awkward. So you can come all the way up over here. And then I like going up here to cast, because you can see how far it is to the marker. Now, and to do that, I essentially right click to bring that up, and it gives me a target, and then left click, and as long as you left click in that white zone, it's going to go about where you put it. The closer you are to the line in the middle, the closer it's going to be to where you put it. This is my first cast with a feeder rod bottom rod. Wish me luck. I actually don't know how they work. I just realized. I don't know how they work. Let's see, so it's got the drag turned down. That's the ones that are moving is the drag. The less you see, the lighter the drag. So the more the fish are going to be able to pull out, and it protects your line. Your line is the cheapest thing to replace. So you want the line to break before the rod and the reel, because they're a lot more expensive to replace. And so always try to make sure your line is the lightest thing on there. I don't know how long this takes. I'm not used to bottom rods. I guess I should put out my my new rod stand. I finally got a rod stand that holds 2 rods. And I haven't used it yet. So, I'm holding the bumper button on the controller. I don't know what you hold on the game, if you've actually unlocked those. Because when I was playing mouse and keyboard, or in my case, trackball and keyboard, I didn't have a rod stand yet. I don't remember exactly when they become available. Alright, so I can place that there. This is also the first time I've used this rod stand. So go back to the bumper. I think the Nero is the other float rod. It is. Although I'm going to have to remember to take this off. Which means I have to put this back on. Going to catfish. That one. So, the way the hooks are numbered, if it's set up like this, the number sign, or pound sign, or hashtag, or whatever you want to call it, and the number, the bigger the number, the smaller the hook. And that goes all the way to number 1. The next hook is the 1-0 hook. The 1/0. And then the 2/0 is bigger, 3/0 is bigger, all the way up to, I think, 9 or 10-0 in the game. And so that's how the hook sizes work. And then I gotta put the 8 back on there. And I gotta make sure it's deep. So, now, if you have the leaders on there, the number down here includes the leader. If you don't have the leader on there, then it's just how long your line is, and the best you can do is 98. Okay, so it swapped out what I did. Do this so I can put it in the same spot. And turn down the drag a little. Probably don't need to. These have 12-pound test on them. Just because I'm a little higher level. And so I figured I'd use the 12-pound. I've had them for quite a while. I bought them as soon as I was able to. Kind of like I did with the my 20-pound rod. Which is here. So this one's 20-pound test. Probably not even worth throwing here. This one's 8-pound test. But if I show you this, the rod, 3 to 9 pounds. The reel, 8.5 pounds. The line, 8 pounds. So the line's the weakest. This is a little different because I randomly bought those when I was in, I think, St. Croix or Everglades or somewhere. And it was the only size they had. So, and then I won this on the Independence Day thing, I think last year. So you guys have seen that in some of my videos if you've seen my other videos. You got that. So let's see. I already told you the drag setting. The little arrows that are down there. Let's see. Oh, I can't change them while I'm on land. So let me throw it. So the little arrows down here, that means you're letting line out. That's slowest reel setting, medium reel setting. Oop, speaking of reel. I got something. Hopefully a catfish. Uh-oh, I got something on both rods. Okay, I'm coming. Catfish! I sit there and look at it for a second, but I got something on this rod too. Where is it? There it is. My first fish on a bottom rod. I can turn up the drag. I can turn up the drag. Another catfish. Cool. Alright, well, now I gotta cast him back out. So make sure it's in the right spot, because with the weight on there, it really casts well. So that goes there. No, I want to place it on there. Now, I gotta switch back to the Nero. Cast it out there too. Do, 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 do. It's interesting that the bottom rod and the float rod sit really high, but when this one was on there, it was pointing down further. I don't know why, but anyway. So I was showing you the reel speeds. So that's essentially full speed. You don't want to just reel in that way, unless you're trying to recast. The fastest you want to reel otherwise is 3. And then, let me recast so I can show you the different retrieve styles. Or at least the ones that I've found so far. If you just hold down left click, you're going to straighten slow. If you're on notch 2, it'll be straight. And then I think 3 is also straight, but it may eventually go straight fast. See, if I do that, it disappears. So that's the fastest I can go. So that's just straight and slow, straight. That works for certain things, like spoons and spinners and things like that that have action in the water. Doesn't work as well necessarily with things like the crawfish that I have on here. But like I said, the spoons and the spinners and the nano spinners and stuff, sometimes it'll work with those. But it also depends on your fish you're going after. There's other fish that you're going after, you're going to want to pulse it. So like left click, stop, left click, stop. And as you can see now it says stop and go. And the more of the dots that you have, the better you're doing on that. So sometimes you're going to need to do it on speed 1, sometimes you're going to need to do it on speed 2, sometimes you might even have to do it on speed 3 just to get it to do the right amount of action for the weight of the lure. Oop. Got another one. Oops. Did I miss it? Said strike timed out. Did I lose my bait? 27. $26. It took my bait. I've had that happen in real life a lot. And usually it was when I was holding the rod. I was waiting for it to strike and it was just lately nibbling and I couldn't tell. Let's see. So featherlight. Go back to my 8-pound one. Alright, so see, I did stop and go. So now there's 2 different ways to do twitching. If you hold right click and then left click, and your lure's not on the bottom. Alright. I'm being interrupted again. But it should be a catfish. So hopefully it's okay. Because I need catfish, so I figured I'd do that while I'm doing this. And you get to see me catch fish. So if you guys are here looking for catfish, you know where to go. Tell you what. To change things up a bit, I'm going to put corn on this one. And I'm going to toss it out here. See if I can get freshwater drum on one and catfish on the other. Where's the rod? Okay. So where was I on this? So if it drops all the way to the bottom and you're trying to do the twitching, it's going to be lift and drop. Honestly, I don't know for sure what things do good with lift and drop. I'm thinking maybe worms, certain spoons and things. Possibly the crawfish and things, but I haven't had a whole lot of luck with lift and drop yet. Maybe I'm not fishing at the right places. But I usually do better with twitching. So if it's not on the bottom and you have your rod tip up and you're reeling, it'll do twitching. If you are on the bottom, it'll do lift and drop. And now I have a fish. Oh, trophy white crappie. Okay, cool. Now the other way to do twitching, so like if you're trying to do twitching and it drops all the way to the bottom, drop your rod tip down, go down to speed 1, start reeling so it's straight and slow, and then just tap right click. And it'll do twitching even if you're on the bottom. So that allows you to do twitching on the bottom. Once it comes off the bottom, then you can switch back to the other way if you really want to. Sometimes switching works, sometimes it doesn't. Depends on the fish that are in the area, the lure you're using, all that stuff. Alright, let's see. I think that's everything with that rod. So let me switch to this rod so that I can show you crankbait, hunch runner. Ooh, wait. Hold that thought. I got a catfish. Do. The floats don't let you know when you have a strike. You just have to see them going. So I'm glad I saw that this time. Since I'm kind of facing the other way. Alright, that goes there. Switch back to the feather light. No, wait, not feather light. I already finished with that one. Alright, so hunch runner. I don't know if I'll get a spotted bass on this or not. It's probably too big. Plus, I still have the titanium leader on there. But with these, you seem to just reel them in. Either the 1 notch, the 2 notches, the 3 notches. With those, you pretty much just reel them in. You can do stop and go or twitching, but it won't tell you you're doing them. But I have gotten fish to strike. Oh, speaking of strike. I have gotten fish to strike when I'm doing like the stop and go, even though it doesn't actually say I'm doing it. I forgot there were pickerel in here. Okay. Let's see. Now top water. So, Walker. Alright, let me get rid of those. Walker. I don't need that here. Oop. Okay. Where's the rod? This should be a freshwater drum. Hey! Where'd the fish go? Did it take my bait? 23. Nope. Cool. Alright, let's toss it in that hole. Because I can. Put it back. Switch back to this. Did you start going? Yes, you did. Good timing. I haven't cast yet. Now I can reel in the catfish. Catfish! So every time you catch a fish on float tackle or bottom tackle, you're going to lose the bait. And from the looks of it, also if the strike time's out. Alright, so surface lures. This is a walker. It's relatively simple to use. I can even zoom in. So tighten the line, right click, release, and left click to unslack the line. Right click, left click, right click, left click, and you'll see it says walking. If you do it at the right speed, you'll get a second dot. I don't know how to get a third dot. I've seen it once or twice for popping and walking, but I don't know. But yeah, the bass usually hit top water. The pike usually hit top water, and occasionally I'll also get like the white crappie in here on top water. And I may have even gotten a bluegill once or twice. So that's one way. It's going to unzoom me. Oh, wait. Mess up the cast so that I can switch. I got another catfish already. Do 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 do. Catfish. Put it back. That wasn't wonderful, but it'll work. Probably. Okay, back to the Thor. Ah! I forgot I'm on the hill. I'm not used to fishing up here. Alright, the other way I've found is if you keep it on slowest, you can reel. And you can just tap this quick. So hold left click and tap right click. And it'll give you walking as well. Oop, got something. A spotted bass or another pickerel? Grass pickerel. Okay. And I'll show the popper now. Let's do that one. The other one's a little lighter. Right. I need to adjust in my seat. I'm sliding out. Okay. So the popper is pretty similar to the walker, but it's going to say popping instead of walking. So pull, reel, pull, reel, pull, reel, pull, reel. And depending on how big the lure is and whatever, and how fast the retrieve is on your lure, or no, reel, how fast the retrieve is on your reel, you might be able to do this at 1 notch or 2 notches. Because if the line is staying slack, then you can do 2 notches. Or if you're in a place like Mudwater River, where the current's carrying it towards you, you might need to use the 2 notches of reel speed, just to make sure you're getting enough of the line in case a fish does actually hit it. The cool thing about using the topwater stuff like the walker and the poppers is when the fish hit it, you can actually see them hit it. So we probably would have seen the other one, but I think it was kind of behind the weeds. But maybe we'll get lucky and the pickerel will hit this too. Although I realized when I'm zoomed in, I can't see my float rod. That's kind of what I figured. Sure enough, I missed another one because I wasn't watching the rod. Alright. Gotta recast this one now. Come here. 23, probably gonna go to 22. Yep, it took my bait. It got lucky. I wish you could put the bells on the float rods. You could totally do it in real life. I kind of understand why they don't do it in the game, but because they're trying to teach you how to do things like you would as a professional fisherman or whatever. But at the same time, I don't know. Also, something you guys might be able to teach me, since I'm not really sure. This is my first time using the bottom rod feeder rod. I noticed that there's a red and white thing underneath where it shows me the corn and above the lure thing. And I don't know what that is. But put the rod down. I got a catfish. Yeah, I just started using these, so I don't know what that symbol is yet. It kind of looks like it's showing me the bend of the rod, but I thought that's what the other gauge was for. So I'm not sure if you need to see it both ways or not. Because I do have it on the, I think it's Pro setup. I can check that real quick. In the settings. Yeah, I have it on Pro instead of Simple. You can also do horizontal. But I don't like the single one. I like seeing all three separately. You're gonna ask me if I want to save. Yes, I do. But yeah, I like having all three of them on the screen at the same time, because it allows you to see which of the things is being stressed the most, in case you're stressing multiple things at the same time, which is usually the case. If you only have the single one, it only shows you the worst of the three. And sometimes it's good to see all of that. Alright, let's switch this back to this. I know it's too late. Let's see. So I showed you hopping, and I showed you walking, and I showed you stop and go, and I showed you twitching, and I showed you lift and drop, and I showed you slow retrieve, straight retrieve. I think that's all the ones I've thought of, or all the ones I found. Let's see, bass jigs. Oh, also, don't forget, bass jigs, you can put tails on. Like the grubs and the shads and the crawfish and stuff like that. They they're equivalent to a jig head. So you can even put like the nymphs and stuff on them as well. And I'm not sure about worms. Maybe. I don't know if I've tried that or not. Honestly. Let's see. Anyway. I'm trying to remember if there's anything else I wanted to show you before I try shooting off the fireworks. Let's see. I mean, that might be it. Let me reel these in so I don't have to worry about them. Never did get a freshwater drum. Again, I don't know what that symbol is. I'm guessing it has to do with the way the rod's bending? What strike? I heard a ding. Do I have a catfish? Maybe? Yep. I had a hit. Decent timing. Although taking it right as I picked up the rod would have been better timing. I'm supposed to be shooting off fireworks. But I'm not necessarily going to say no to another catfish. Although I also don't want to sit here forever because it's already been an hour. Come on. There we go. Did you take it? Slow set. Go. So he was pulling it under, but he wasn't pulling it under. So I moved the rod and then set the hook. And sometimes that seems to help. So keep. Now I need to pick this up. Should be that button. No. Switch. Let's see. The moment you guys have all been waiting for, I'm sure. So 5 of those, 10 of those, 20 of those. Well, if I got 20 of those, let's start with those. Another thing I need to do. Let's go over here. That's not a rod. Silly. That's not a rod. Oh boy. Alright. Well, if I'm shooting fireworks, I'm guessing you guys want it to be nighttime. And that makes sense. So we're gonna make it nighttime. Okay, make sure I still got the correct one. Inventory. All the way down. Let's see. Oh, it says fish on the side, so I'm guessing that's it. It doesn't actually tell me what I'm holding. I can just see it in front of me. Now, I admit I have no idea how these work. Let's try... Wait, what? Wait for the next event? But I'm doing a special video where I shoot off fireworks. Well, if anything, it's October. So, hopefully I'll be able to do these soon. I really wanted to do it in the video. Sorry, guys. I guess it's still coming. You got the other basic info. And you got to see some of my real life stuff, which I wanted in the fireworks video. But for reasons beyond my control, I can't shoot off fireworks. Whatever. Alright, well, sorry about that, guys. I guess I'll still have to do yet another video for that. But hope you enjoyed what you got to see. Again, sorry there's no fireworks. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.